In this video, you will learn how to make a basic stir fry using meat or meat alternative, vegetables and a sauce of your choice. If you would like to challenge yourself, you could make your own sauce. Here you will be shown how to make a basic sauce, but there is a wide variety you can choose from. 1 tablespoon of corn flour is added first. This will thicken the sauce as it's cooked. It is important that you add this before adding any other liquid so it doesn't go lumpy. Soy sauce is a traditional Chinese ingredient. It's added for its saltiness and umami flavour. 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar are added to give a sharpness to the sauce. It's then mixed well to ensure there are no lumps. Honey or sugar can then be added to balance out the flavours. Finally, fresh ginger and garlic will be prepared and added for flavour. A fine grater will be needed to prepare the ginger. At school, a box grater will be provided, but sometimes a smaller grater or zester can be used for ease. Fresh ginger root is being sliced into a small chunk, taking care to keep fingers and thumbs out of the way. Use a scrap bowl to discard any rough pieces and then use the edge of a teaspoon to scrape away the skin. Carefully grate the ginger into the sauce, keeping your fingers away from the edges. If you prefer, you could finely chop the ginger using a sharp knife. Here are 2 fresh cloves of garlic. They will need deskinning and crushing. Make sure the garlic cloves are on their flat edge and stable on the chopping board. Then, being careful to use the flat edge of the knife, use the heel of your hand to press down firmly. This will make peeling the cloves of garlic a lot easier. Place the garlic cloves into a garlic press and squeeze the handles tightly. Use the flat edge of a knife to scrape the garlic into your sauce. Give the completed sauce a good mix and then save it for later. Make sure all your vegetables are washed and ready to go. Prepare your choice of vegetables using the bridge hold or claw grip. Here a red bell pepper is being sliced. Often vegetables are kept chunky to retain a crunchy texture. Baby corn are being sliced down the centre using a bridge hold here. Some vegetables won't need any preparation, such as sugar snaps and bean sprouts. Spring onions are another common ingredient. Here the ends are being sliced off and any straggly leaves pulled off and sliced diagonally for a traditional effect. This is a tin of water chestnuts, another traditional Chinese ingredients that we usually only find in supermarkets. These need to be drained but are often already sliced. Now you've prepared all your vegetables and sauce, it's time to prepare the meat. This is a pork tenderloin, also known as a pork fillet. Don't get this mixed up with a loin steak as these are much tougher and not suitable for stir frying. Before you slice the meat, remove any fat or sinew as this will be chewy. You could prepare this meat by cutting it into round slices, but often meat for stir fries is sliced into thin strips to enable quicker cooking. Here the meat is being sliced down the centre first and then cut into equal length pieces before the thinner strips can be completed. The strips of meat can now be added to your homemade sauce. If you've decided to use a pre-bought sauce, then just leave your meat on the red chopping board until it's time to cook it. Remember to discuss how to avoid cross-contamination when using meat after this video. At this point you may need to add your noodles depending on which type you've got. Number 1, 2 and 3 are examples of dried noodles which will need to be boiled before you put them into the dish. Number 4, 5 and 6 are soft noodles. These can be added at the end without pre-cooking. Here dried noodles are being pre-cooked in some boiling water. Check your instructions on your packet before you start. Your wok is seasoned with oil to keep it from going rusty, so you might find it stored with paper towel inside. Remove this before you start cooking. Put a small amount of oil into your wok, followed by the meat, but try not to get much of your sauce in yet. You should hear it start to sizzle, but you don't want it to burn on, so make sure you keep moving around in the wok. The meat will change colour on the outside as it starts to cook. It will usually turn from pink to brown or white depending on the meat you are using. Once the outside of your meat has changed colour, you can add the vegetables that will take the longest to cook. Continue to move the ingredients around on a high heat. Some of your ingredients, like the water chestnuts and bean sprouts, do not need to be added until near the end, as they only take a few minutes to cook. Once everything is thoroughly mixed through, we can check the temperature of the meat. Wipe the thermometer with an anti-bac wipe. Choose the thickest piece of meat and check it goes above 75 degrees Celsius. Make sure you use an anti-bac wipe after you've checked the meat as well. Finally, if your meat is up to temperature, you can add your sauce, coat all of the ingredients through and give it a stir for a minute or two. It's then ready to add your noodles. Make sure your noodles are thoroughly drained, stir through all the ingredients, and now you can place this in your container.